Welcome to another edition of the Storm Report. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by women's head basketball coach Dorris. Coach, started off the season the other day at home with a homecoming win, 76-57 over York College. Talk a little bit about that game.
I think it was good for us to get back on the floor again, and obviously, it was fun. First time we've been on the floor since obviously the national championship game, and it was just good to see the young kids, the kids we have brought in, see what they could do and brought in action, especially in that type of environment and crowd and student body. It was fun to be part of.
Coach, you got to be happy with the way your seniors played. Kristin Milster set a career high in points, 17 points, and Amnata Fall, 17 points, 18 rebounds. The senior leaders played really well.
They did, and for us to be successful throughout the year, we're going to continue to need to build upon that, as well as have some other scoring coming from, Callie Cox and Abby Boyd and some of those others as well.
Coach, went to OC last night. Pretty tough game, but you guys were never really able to get into a rhythm. Amanada got into some foul trouble early, and you just couldn't get in a rhythm. And when you go to Oklahoma Christian, it's tough to win there.
It is. I mean, early on we just missed too many shots. I mean, we just didn't shoot the basketball well. And anytime it's hard to get in an offensive rhythm when the ball doesn't go through the hole. I mean, we were getting quality shots inside the lane as well as and missing a couple of transition stuff right there, as well as we didn't shoot the ball well from the free throw line. I think we were either 6 for 13 or 7 for 13. And the way that their style, they were able to get to the free throw line a little bit more than we were, and I think that was they had a little bit of part of it as well.
Coach, you talked a little bit the other day about looking for that third score. Mm-hmm. So far, Callie Cox has been just that 17 points in the home opener. That's a career high, and then all of a sudden she goes and sets a new career high last night with 20 points at Oklahoma Christian.
She did, and especially when we got in foul trouble and had both Milster and Nada on the bench. We were able to cut that lead, from 13, almost cut it to 10 at halftime, and we really was feeling good at halftime, only down 10 with the foul trouble we were in, and then second half we just had a couple poor possessions to start off with, and they got rolling a little bit.
Coach, Amanata Falls one of the best defenders in the Great American Conference. She likes to block a lot of shots. Foul trouble is something that might come her way sometimes. What's some of the things you guys can do to maybe limit some of her fouls?
Well, you just make sure that when she goes to block, her hands are straight up. I mean, it was she got 3 fouls early. I think she got her third foul about roughly around the 17-minute mark, and then didn't have a foul the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. So that's something that she needed to be committed on, and also as well in the national championship game was the same thing. I mean, she had 3 fouls in the first half, and I think she's got enough of a basketball IQ to be able to stay away from foul trouble.
Coach, one of the things that your coach tried to do to her is pull her away from the basket. Mm-hmm. How do you combat that?
So, well, I mean, there's several ways you can combat it. I mean, hopefully you can, either go to a 3-2 zone if you need be, or you try to switch off on men, people that she's guarding that are closer to the basket. But at the same time, I mean, you just got to stay within the structure of what you're doing and weigh the odds of what the offense is trying to do to really what we're trying to do.
Coach, Ashley Hutchings, second-year point guard. She's starting this year. Mm-hmm. Talk about her improvement from last season to this season. A freshman last year, played really well for you. She seems to be playing pretty well and have command of the offense this year.
Well, I think she's working harder in practice and maturing in the game as well. I mean, I think there's a learning curve for all freshmen that come in. The level of play, from 3A high school to college ball sometimes can be steep, and so I think she's adjusting.
Coach, you go to Wichita Falls this weekend.
Right.
Friday against Midwestern State's the first one, and then Texas Permian Basin on Saturday.
Right.
Midwestern State, very good team.
They're ranked, 8th or 7th?
They're ranked 10th in the nation. They've got Andrea Carter, who's averaging 14 points, 9 rebounds. That's going to be a tough matchup.
It is. Both of those games are going to be tough for us. I mean, and we knew this week for us, we were going to grow up in a hurry. I mean, not only did Midwestern State win their conference, Texas Permian Basin won the Heartland. So, I mean, we've got 2 quality opponents, and playing them, especially Midwestern State at their place, we're going to have to keep poise, composure, and, hopefully shoot the ball pretty well.
You went on the road last night. To talk a little bit about the new players with homecoming last Friday, how pleased were they with the environment? And obviously getting to play in front of that crowd had to be great.
It was, and I think it was some of them were a little bit too juiced, mm-hmm. a little bit, but that's to be expected. As the season progresses, the thing about for me is we'll be patient with them, just to let them grow up and let them be freshmen. There's going to be a maturation process that everyone has to go through, and so being patient with those players will be a key ingredient for us as a coaching staff.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us on the Storm Report. We'll take a quick break.
Being a frontwoman takes confidence, dedication, and more than a pinch of swagger. Lucky for Kim, she has Tinker Federal Credit Union on rhythm guitar. And with our mobile app helping keep her checking account in tune, she can focus on what's important. Nailing that next solo. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to the Storm Report. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by women's basketball player Kristin Milster. Kristin, you're a senior this season, and you probably played your best game you've ever played, arguably, at SNU last Friday against York College. 17 points, 7 rebounds. What was it? You looked like you just improved from last season. You just looked pretty comfortable out there.
Because I'm a senior, I felt like I really needed to step up. We lost a couple key players last year, and so I felt like it was important for me to step up and do the best I can and finish strong in my senior season. So,
Kristin, you guys got a lot of new players. We talked with Amanada and Coach Dorris just a little bit about that last week. But how are the new players stepping up? And obviously, the homecoming crowd last week, how impressive was that to everybody to play in front of those home fans?
it was really fun to play in front of the huge crowd. They're all dressed up as lumberjacks, and they had pancakes after, which was really exciting. But it's always fun to play in front of a huge crowd, because that's when you play basketball, you kind of want to have that huge crowd to push you and do better. With our new girls, we've got a bunch of freshmen, we got a bunch of new transfers, and they're stepping up. They're all doing really well. They're kind of learning the play and learning the gist of our game, and so it's taken a couple weeks for them to get into that, but I feel like it's going to do well.
Had a game last night against Oklahoma Christian. You guys lost that game 79-60, but the scoreboard told a little more than it did because you guys got in early foul trouble. What was it? What were some of the things you guys could have done to improve last night?
Well, I will say that the refs were kind of biased just a little bit, but we'll always say that. Every team will always have that excuse, but we kind of got off to a little bit of a shaky start. We were I feel like we both were like so ready to play each other, each team, that we kind of both started off really shaky and kind of started fouling a little bit. But once we got into it in the second half, it was kind of too late. We were down by 10. We had already dug a hole, and so that was kind of our problem there.
You know, I forgot to lead off with last year you guys actually won the NCCAA National Championship. You were a big contribution to that team, especially down the stretch last season. How exciting was that, obviously, to win that? That
was one of the most exciting parts of my basketball career, honestly. I feel like it was the pinnacle, and I'm hoping to get back there because it's a really good experience.
What was the biggest improvement you think you made from last season to this season, being a senior now and being one of the more versatile players on this team?
Well, I feel like I've always had the potential to play, but I didn't really step up with my attitude or with my more vocalness, and I just kind of shied away from everything because we always had those good players. And so now I feel like it's my time to step up and finish strong because I'm a senior and it's going to be gone soon. So,
what do you think is the biggest improvement that this team needs to make from now until the end of the year? Because last year the major thing to success was you guys improved so much from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
Again, we gotta develop some more chemistry. We've got to get acclimated to each other and kind of figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses and work off of that. So.
All right, Kristin, thank you so much for joining us on the Storm Report.
Thank you so
we'll be right
much.
back with men's head basketball coach Adam Bohac.
Martial arts instruction is more than self-defense. It's self-reliance. But even a sensei needs support. Tinker Federal Credit Union has had Elijah's back every kick, punch, and step of the way, and the strength of Oklahoma's largest credit union lets him focus on his passion: chopping wood. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to the Storm Report. I'm Matt Shellenberger, joined by head basketball coach Adam Bohac. Coach, the other day you came in against York at home. You lost the game, but we saw a lot of good things. Played a lot of young guys. You never stopped fighting. Made a comeback there at the end. Just didn't quite have it at the very end to get the win, but it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game for our team in a lot of ways, Matt. Unfortunate to lose on homecoming. We had an outstanding crowd, outstanding student body. But I did think our guys continued to fight. You know, there were several chances there. York got it to 15 in the second half, I think. And we kind of stayed the course and continued to try to fight and continued to make some plays and got it down there where we had the lead 83-82 with 3 to go. And then had some really poor possessions, really empty possessions there the last 3 minutes of the game and just didn't finish it off very well.
Coach, one of the guys that's really playing well so far this year for you is newcomer C.J. Smith. Had a big-time game on homecoming. He's played very well this far.
Yeah, C.J. can do a lot of different things, and when he takes good shots and kind of plays within what we're trying to do, you know, he's really efficient. He can score the ball, driving it to the basket. He's an outstanding free throw shooter. We need him to shoot more free throws. And then he's a very good three-point shooter as well. So he can kind of do a little bit of everything offensively. And then most nights he'll guard the other team's best perimeter player. He's long and rangy and has a little bit of grit to him, a little bit of toughness. And we think he can continue to develop into a very good perimeter defender for us. He led us on the glass last night again. I think he's averaging 8 rebounds a game, so he can do that as well. We just need to continue to help teach CJ how to make fewer and fewer losing plays, fewer and fewer plays where maybe he's trying to do too much or trying to do something outside of the box that ultimately will hurt our team.
Coach, how beneficial is it to have 2 guys that can really run the offense? You've got Quan Connor and then obviously CJ, and they can both run the offense at any given time if need be.
Yeah, they can both score the ball. And then LB Willis is a freshman who we started at the point guard last night, and you know, he can help slide Quan off the ball and get Quan some rest. And LB's really coming on, and I think has a really bright future for us as a point guard.
Coach, one of the things that should be noted against York College is you were missing Antwon Jackson, one of your best defenders on the team. He played last night, played very well. How nice is it to have him back?
Yeah, he was terrific last night, Matt, especially for not practicing for 8 days. I mean, he basically had been out. He'd been on the arm bike a little bit to get a little sweat in, but no cardio of any substance for a week and hadn't practiced for a week. Had just been in the hot and cold tanks trying to get his ankle better. And I thought it was a gutty performance for him last night. And you know, 8 of 11 inside. We missed his presence the first time out, and it was nice having him back.
Coach went to OC last night, lost that game, but they're a very good team. They're a veteran team. Kendra Talley, Willie Harper, just to name a few of the guys that they have that can obviously score the ball. What did you think about that game last night? And it was a tough challenge for your young team.
Yeah, we're much improved, Matt. I thought we were significantly better last night compared to Friday. I told the guys we had 2 practices and we improved a bunch. And that has to continue to be our personality, that we can take a game, win, lose, or draw, and learn from it and build on it. You know, I thought last night the game kind of got away from us in the first half. There was a stretch where they hit 3s on 5 consecutive possessions, and tip your hat to those guys. A couple of them were guys just jumping up, shooting it in over our guys over a hand. And so they kind of got some distance there, but we battled back and had it to 4 with 5 to go, and I think had it to 3 early in the second half. And again, we just have to mature a little bit as a group. You get it to that point, and we've had some guys try to go do something on their own or do something too early in the clock. Just stay the course, stay within what we're doing, and continue to grind at it. And that was another game where we just didn't finish it very well. They finished at 21-10 on us. We had it to 4 with 5 to go, and then they kind of ran out the door at the end. So we'll grow from that, but again, I think we're a much better basketball team last night than we were last Friday.
Coach, you got UCO coming in on Saturday. Josh Gibbs is back. He's a tough matchup. He's about 6'5", 235 pounds. Averaged 17 points a game last season. Playing well so far this season. I think he had 22 the other day. How do you slow him down?
Yeah, they are a really good team, Matt. Coach Evans does a tremendous job at UCO, and they're in the MIAA conference. And Josh Gibbs, a senior, tough matchup, big and strong, can shoot 3s, gets to the free throw line a lot. He's a handful on the offensive backboards, and so we'll certainly have to continue to improve this week to be ready to go for Saturday.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. That's going to do it for another edition of the Storm Report. Be sure to join us next week as we talk about the UCO game and preview the conference opener versus Arkansas Tech. Thank you.